You never know what people are going through in the background in order to get to what you see. I've learned to not judge my insides by other people's outsides and assume that they got everything together because they present it well. They might not. That might be the only thing they can do is present well. When I was with my second husband, yeah, I've been married 3 times. Yeah. You'll get lost after a while. Be like, wait, she was. No, I've been married 3 times. I'm done. This is Retha Jones on our first edition of Achieving Mental Greatness and Then Some. A little background for today. This will be on the Apollo channel, also on other social media sites. And I was asked why I thought of this topic. Today we're going to talk about procrastination and perfectionism, which leads to depression. And the reason why I thought about this is because I remember being a young adult, and I'm a perfectionist, and missing a lot of events because everything wasn't perfect. And the growth that you need in order to get past that. Originally, this was just supposed to be procrastination and how it leads to depression. But after talking to one of the crew, I inverted into perfection also, because a lot of times the procrastination comes because you're a perfectionist. And a lot of times, if everything's not going to be perfect, we talk ourselves out of doing it at all. And yeah, and it's like you miss out on a lot of life. And then after the fact, because you haven't done whatever this is you wanted to do, whatever this goal was, now you're angry at yourself and the self-talk narrative changes. You ain't nothing. Why you didn't do that? All you had to do was. Why you don't know how to do X, Y, Z? Why you not as good as that person over there that's doing it? So procrastination. I was talking to a young lady at one time about procrastination, and we were laughing about the different levels of procrastination, right? And it's like we know better. That's the funny part. Like, you know, you need to do laundry. You know, you need to wash those dishes. You know, you need to go pay that bill. You know, you need to do your hair. You know, all this stuff. It's the little stuff that gets you. You know, this stuff needs to be done. But the problem is, and I'm going to use the example laundry because everybody got to do laundry. And not too many people I know really enjoy doing laundry. But I love having fresh clothes. So you do laundry, and to give y'all personal insight, yeah, I hate doing laundry. I usually do laundry on Sundays. Sundays is my day. Once a week, we're going to do laundry all day. That's the thing. So one, I don't like doing laundry because I got to go down 2 flights of stairs. So that means I got to go down one to put it in the washer, up, back down again to put it in the dryer, up, back down again to take it out the dryer. Got to fold it up, put it away. I try to make it as simple as possible for people to understand, to simplify it instead of like going all the way out there in the hemisphere with stuff. And it's everyday living. It's stuff you do on a regular basis that you can change your way of thinking about it. So we procrastinate because it's something we don't want to do anyways. So let's say you don't do laundry this Sunday. You got enough clothes. You just don't do it. It was 3 loads of laundry. Now it's going to be 6 loads of laundry. Now you ain't got no clean underwear. Now you got the kids going outside with the inside clothes. Now the kids mad at you. Now the mountain has become the molehill has become a mountain. Like, so now you looking at it and now you become discouraged because it's so huge. Now, when do you get started? And even though most people don't realize it, our mental brain works in completions. So we don't like to do goals that there's no completion to. That's why we get excited when we complete stuff. We go to the grocery store, we get the food, we make the dinner, we get excited, it's a good meal, it's made, we completed a task. That's why there's graduations, because you go to school, you do this stuff, you study, you completed a task. Our brain works in completion of tasks. When we can't see the end game, when we can't see the completion, it causes us to get depressed, get frustrated, get aggravated because we can't see where. So now you change these couple loads of laundry into all this laundry. You don't know how you're gonna finish it. Now it's gonna take you all daggone week. Now you frustrated. Like, and so yeah, I'm using the example as laundry as something that's actually really important because we do this once we do this in every area of our lives. We do it when we got to go to the doctor's office and we don't want to because they might tell us X, Y, Z, and da da da. Or we don't really need to. The doctors don't know what they're talking about, or they're just gonna. Or we do it when we got to get the oil changed on the car, or we do it when we got to do our hair. It's a whole bunch of little pieces in life that can literally lead to medical level depression because you haven't completed anything. Everything is everywhere. And so you don't want to get out of bed now because you know that everything that you didn't complete is waiting for you. So now you don't want to get out the bed. Now you don't want to talk to nobody because everybody you talk to is reminding you of what you ain't did. Did you finish that so and so girl? Did you finish da 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 da? Where the so and so at? Why? So for me, I call it baby walking. So I baby walk myself with stuff I don't like doing. So I don't like doing laundry. So I switched it from doing it on Sundays to dang near every day. So that way it's never big. It's never big. If I just got to go do one load of laundry, I can convince myself to go back and forth for that one load of laundry versus 3 or 4 loads. And then I'm always completing a task. So I'm always feeling satisfied because I'm always completing something. Whether it be school. So one of the journeys that taught me on, I should say one of the biggest life lessons that taught me to not procrastinate was school. I am a, I was a ninth grade dropout. I didn't had no education whatsoever. I had went and got my GED at 17, and I had went to school. I had went back to a training program to become a certified nursing assistant, and decent pay. It was my first real job. It's 4 to 6 weeks of training. Now, everybody had been trying to talk me into going to school to be an LPN. It's only 2 years. You coming out the door making X, Y, Z, da 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 da. Ain't nobody got 2 years to be. Don't. I'm not dedicating 2 years of my life to no education stuff. I'm over here trying to make some money. That's it. And so I went to school for the 4 to 6 weeks, got my certification as a CNA, and started working. Doubles, triples. I lived at the nursing home more than I lived at home because I needed money because I was raising 3 teenagers at the time. And, oh, I'm sorry, there's a gap of time in there. No, I did not do that right after my GED. 10 years later, I went back to school to become a CNA. And then I had 3 teenagers in the house by then. And so I was working doubles and triple overtime and basically killing myself working. And I found myself after about a year doing the LPN's work. Like, because I like to learn and because that's just the way that field is. You end up doing everybody else's work. 2 years went by and I got a whole $1.50 raise, and that LPN was making $10 more than I was making. And I'm doing half her job. And those 2 years that I couldn't dedicate to going to school is gone already. I got an extra $1.50 for them 2 years. And so that was like my push into don't procrastinate on stuff, just try it. Like find room to do that. Find room to walk out there and try it because it's like I ended up going back to school. I ended up going back to school 5 times. I have 5 damn degrees. And it's just like because we be out here, how many of us is out here doing somebody else's job? Most of the time, if you're working in any type of company, you're doing your job plus somebody else's job. I want to get paid for doing somebody else's job. Like, it's one thing to be a team member, it's another thing to get paid. And the only thing that was different between me and that woman was the damn degree. Go back to school, get the education, know your worth, which will lead to another show. Know your worth. Like, so on the personal level of perfection versus procrastination, it can be really spiritually damning because, like, I myself have missed, like I said earlier, out on really important things because everything had to be perfect. The hair got to be perfect, the nails got to be perfect, the outfit got to be perfect. Whatever vision I had in my head on how it was supposed to go, if it did not go that way, and we were talking about it, it's almost embarrassing now, I would throw tantrums. I would tear up, like, just tear up stuff because I would be so angry and mad and hurt because I done spent all this time on whatever this thing is, and because it didn't turn out perfect, I don't want to do it at all. Like, I'm not even going, I'm not nothing. Either I'm not going, I'm missing another event, or if I do go, I'm going half-hearted, angry, and spiritually unfit like hell. So, like, and that's that perfectionist part because it's like it took a lot of time for me to learn that I can't be perfect. I'm human. And it, again, me and one of the producers were talking, and I was cracking the joke on. I have a son who's 19 who's a perfectionist, and and I hurried up and caught him earlier in life, and I call him my human. I don't call him by his name. I call him my human. And he's almost every time he's like, whatever. And I do that to remind him, you're human. You're not supposed to be perfect. And I had to learn that took a lot of internal fight for me to learn that. And it's one of the reasons why I want to do these recordings is because there's a lot of people who suffer through this stuff and nobody is saying anything to them, or nobody else knows how to get around this, or nobody else has tapped into how do we get past this so we can enjoy life, and nobody definitely ain't tell me. Didn't Nobody told me. You know, I would get the little clues on, um, Retha, you're not perfect, or Retha, everything's not going to be perfect all the time, or whatever, whatever. But I would never get, like, how to deal with that feeling, how to move with that feeling. Why, like, I'm a people watcher, and one of the ways I learned it was watching other people, and I started paying attention. And yeah, we all know that our one producer always looks perfectly put together, but you don't know what's in his house. He might have a house that's nothing but closets and don't have a kitchen table. Like, we don't never know what somebody else went through to get to what we see. What we see ain't really real all the time. You might physically see it, but it's not always real. And one of my favorite stories to tell on this topic was there was a girl who came to work. We worked the same job as a CNA. We both had the same amount of children, both making the same money. Her husband didn't work. My mate was working. They had two cars. Kids were always perfectly dressed, shoes, sneakers matching the fits. She was always perfectly dressed, new hairdo every week, nails always done. I was walking around with 5-year-old sneakers, and I'm like, what am I missing? And it taps into, we judge our insides by other people's outsides. So I kept looking at her and like, we making the same money. We working the same hours at the same place. How is it that everybody in her world is laid and mine is okay? We were okay. We wwere comfortable, but we wasn't, I couldn't get my hair done every week. I definitely couldn't get my nails done. I'm like, what am I missing? And so anyways, long story, shorten the story a little. I had to go out of town. My father was passing away. And I went to Georgia. I was going to Georgia to see him, and I had never been to Georgia before. But I'm a head sweater. I sweat a lot out of my head, so I can't hold hairdos. So at the time, since I seen her hair is always done, where do you go to get your hair done? I need my hair done because I'm not going to be able to survive in all that heat with a hairdo. So oh, I know how to do it. Come to my house. So that's number one. She knows how to do her own hair. So because she knows how to do her own hair and all these different sew-ins and glue-ins and all that, that means she's saving money right there because she knows how to do that. I did not have the ability to do that. One. So I, so I go to her house, and as I pull up front, I had to recheck the address like 3 times because I thought it was an abandoned building. I'm like, the stairs look scary to walk on. I'm like, what is going on right now? So, I call her, no, you at the right house, come on in, da 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 da, front door is open. Okay. Go in the front door, and as you go from the front door to the inside door, she was downstairs, there's a curtain up there. Now, I'm an old school black person. I know when we have curtains in doorways means we're reserving heat because something ain't on right. So I'm like, okay, all right, all right. So you walk in and you got a living room from wall to wall full of furniture. You literally can't sit on the furniture because the furniture is so closed in because the room is so small. Beautiful furniture, but you can't get to it because it's all smashed in there. Okay. Go into the dining room. There's nothing in the dining room except for an electric heater on the floor that it's running from an extension cord that's going us upstairs to the upstairs apartment. You go into the kitchen, there's the stove is on with pots on top of it because they got no heat on in the house. The refrigerator's not working. You go into the kids' room, they had no toys, and their bed was on the floor. And so the reality check was, their gas ain't on, their electric ain't on, but everybody got new hairdos, new clothes, and new sneakers. So like that was a reality check for me. And come to find out, her mother owned the house and she wasn't paying rent. So you're not paying gas, you're not paying electric, you're not paying rent. I guess you should have new hair, new clothes, and new sneakers every week. And so sometimes my level of perfectionism would be measured by what I see you doing, thinking that you got it all together, thinking that you got it all together, and that what I see out here in public is your whole life. And not knowing, you never know what people are going through in the background in order to get to what you see. You know what I'm saying? So I've learned to not judge my insides by other people's outsides and assume that they got everything together because they present it well. They might not, that might be the only thing they can do is present well. You never know. You know, procrastination in relationships definitely will kill you. Is when I was with my second husband. Yeah, I've been married 3 times. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You'll get lost after a while. Be like, wait, she was. No, I've been married 3 times. I'm done. I'm done. Um, when I was with him, we broke up and got back together a couple of different times, always trying to work it out. And we're actually still very good friends, very good friends. Um, so when I finally left was when I was pregnant with his child, which was a miracle. All children are a miracle, but he was a super miracle. I only had one tube. My other tube had burst and almost killed me. I had ovarian and cervical cancer. I hadn't had a child for 10 years. He hadn't had a child for 15 years. There was no way I was supposed to be getting. Oh, and I was on birth control. Yeah, I don't know. He was. So when I found, I was already planning on ending the marriage, which I had said a million times. I was that girl. Yeah, I'm leaving. Until you really ready, right? That part. So I really was determined to leave. And that's when I found out I was pregnant. And I had never raised a kid by myself before. And it was scary. But I left anyways. And actually, he was even, and being pregnant was even more motivation for me to leave because I didn't want to bring my child up in that situation of hot mess that we was in. Like, no. So I remember everybody around me saying, is this the right time? And sometimes our emotions will precede us, precede our thoughts. So every time somebody would say it, it would piss me off. But I didn't even know why. I was just like, why is this annoying you? Every time somebody asks it, is this the right time? You sure it's the right time? Da, da, da. And then it finally hit me because when is there ever a right time? It's like there's when you're in, especially in a relationship, when you're in a, well, with everything, but when you're in a relationship, you're there for a reason. You like that person for a reason. You're there. So anytime you end something, whether it's healthy or unhealthy, there's never a right time. There's like never a right time. So we're going to be doing a lot more topics. Procrastination is a big deal to me because I watch a lot of people miss out on life because they just didn't take a step or just didn't follow through. Follow through with what you're trying to do. My name is Retha Jones, also known as And Then Some. This is your avenue to mental greatness and then some. You can follow me on Retha.Jones 128 on Instagram. You can also see me at Conscious Contact and then some. And also you can follow me at the hashtag RJ and then some. Thank you again. Have a good night. Oh, you still have plenty more time. I was messed up. So you did 10 before, and I was like, he did 10 before. I'm like, wait, I'm confused. You said it's almost done. Like, no, 10. So I was like, maybe he means 10 seconds. So I was like, okay, figure out how to wrap this up. Y'all can cut it. Oh, that's perfect. And that's perfect for us. Yeah. All right. All right. So now I gotta remember where I was at. Please hold. I mean, just do whatever. You can right. Grab the notebook if you want. Right. I was like, wait. Oh well, actually, okay. So so just a reminder, it's because nobody's perfect, right? So I don't mind grabbing my notebook and reading my notes because the most important thing is knowing yourself. You got to figure out what you can handle, what you can't, right? And learn how to be okay with your defects. So, and it's important for me, like super important for me, because it's not about making somebody else understand what bothers me. It's about me understanding what bothers me. There was this guy that used to say this thing all the time. He would say, "It's not so much important to be understood, but to understand." And it was just such a simple line, but it plays in my head a lot. Like, or reminding myself, I am not the exception to the rules. Yeah, that's a big one. Somebody obviously didn't get the memo because I'm, of course, the exception to the rules. Um, and I guess what I'll dive into to kind of close it up is like the reason why I came up with this topic, the name, is because this is not just for people who have mental illness. This is not just for the professional. This is for everybody. This is for grandma all the way down to the teenager. Like there's no too early time to work on you. So the question for my audience would be, so does that make me even more of a perfectionist because I'm always trying to learn more and do more? I don't know. I'm definitely a perfectionist, but I've definitely learned to find my limit and learn that doing something. I don't like that word. I don't like the phrase because it seems as if you're settling, but I would rather do something than nothing because I procrastinated and or tried to perfect something so much that nothing is done. But then in my head, does that mean I'm just settling for anything just to make something done? That's how my brain works. It's just how it is. It's kind of a good thing. I'm always questioning myself. Um, I guess this would also come into context with your spirituality. So for me, when I know I've done something to the fullness that I can accomplish at the time, I'm spiritually satisfied. I know I put in as much effort as I could at the time. as me again and one of the producers was talking about. Like, you can do something today and maybe not be as where you want it to be, but at least you know, okay, I accomplished this part. And this way I can buffer it maybe more the next time. Add something on to it or take something off of it. But, like, I'm perfectly me. Like, I'm okay with being perfectly me. I'm okay with having glitches today. Like, I'm okay with having glitches today. I'm okay with knowing that I'm the person that will trip over my own shoes and not get frustrated. I'm the person that's okay with, I don't look and all put together as much as the next person does. That's because I'm just perfectly me. I don't need to do all that anymore. If you find yourself in a situation like that, for me, I remember that the people that made me weren't perfect, so why should I be perfect? They made me perfectly me. Like, there's no other one. There's only one. Like, nobody else can replicate me. Nobody else can be like me. They can try. It won't happen. and that's goofiness included. I'm goofy. I injure myself more than anybody else can. I'm that girl. I'm the girl at the family reunion that always hurts herself. Usually there's a story every year somehow. They don't allow me to wear shoes anymore. I'm not allowed to play the games. I can't play any of the games at family reunion anymore. I done broke a knee, an ankle. I'm on YouTube everywhere. The family reunion klutz. Let's start wrapping this up. There will be a series to go along with this. Uh, we're trying to work on putting together several groups on each topic. There will be a lot more topics, as in critical thinking skills. I think I talked about this before. Common sense isn't common. Manipulation isn't necessary. Being honest with you. Those are just a couple of the topics. Again, I'm trying to help us on our everyday path through life have tools that can help us to be not stressed. The more stressed you are, the worse your mental health, the worse your physical health, the worse your emotional health. So if we can deal with the day-to-day life stuff, when the big glitches come into play, we ready. For now, I'm Retha Jones, also known as And Then Some. Find me at Contact and Then Some, www.contactandthensome.org. I gotta remember to sell myself. I'm also the author of Secrets Keeps You Sick. I always say the word Arthur wrong. And you can find me, of course, at Apollo Theater. The Apollo Media Center. Not I'm goofy. Thank you and have a good night.
Smoke them if you got them. So, this book is not a comedy. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not a self-help. This is some nasty shit. We got all types of stuff in here. This is stuff you won't be scared to tell people you read. You're gonna be like, girl, what in the hell? Like, this is Buffalo based, though, because we gotta put props to the 716 Buffalo. Yes, and there's some words misspelled in here because I don't know how to spell real well. I got tired. Come on now, my Ebonics words is words too. My words matter. Pick it up for $17.99. Hardcover $17.99. Online $15.99. I have not did the Audible yet because I don't think y'all want to hear my damn voice for 20 minutes straight.